Wow, where did this come from? It came from China. Besides that, like, what? Is this the best $100 and below dynamic driver? I think so. I actually think so. I'll talk about that in a minute. Before we continue, that's the Timeless AE. That is supposed to be an improved version of the original 7Hz Timeless. It's got a nicer cable. It's more expensive. It's definitely pricey, out of the range for a lot of people watching this video. So comment below this video. Give me a like if you like the video, and then subscribe, because that's the icon that gets you put in the wheel, and then you can get that kind of expensive planar right there. That'll be for you. As a demonstration, today I will spin the wheel for the Ghost, which I did in a previous video and talked about it being a prize, because I have a second one. So that will be today, so you can see how that works. Now, what do we have here? We have a very impressive set. I have 3 single dynamics right in front of you there. Let me turn this up just a little to get this more centered. The Olina is in blue, the MIM Audio Dark Magician, which you may not know of, but it is by a lot of people that have been in the hobby for a long time and have libraries not similar to mine. Some of them are similar and some are not. I believe Michael Bruce loves thrash and death metal and stuff like that. He can maybe comment below, but he fell in love with the Dark Magician original big time. It doesn't put it in your face and scream at you. You can turn up the volume. The low end is accurate. It's not bombing and tiring you like the treble. It's just a very well-tuned set. You can see that the Simgot, the Dark Magician, and the Olina, from the sub bass to the mid bass to the mids, are virtually identical. That amplitude scale, which is the frequency graph, is telling you that the rhythm section, fundamentals, and a lot of stuff that is in that range is being handled approximately the same. The difference would be the comfort level, the fit that you get, and the quality of the transducer, how different this would play back. I think this has a very nice driver in it to my ear, or it's doing exactly what it should be with not being over dampened or anything like that, because it sounds like an amazing set. The difference you can see, and this is a great example, when the original Olina came up, a lot of people who didn't have a condensation issue, and it was simply about tuning, were kind of bringing along a pattern. And they were saying that vocals are a little bit too intense, and when the guitar comes in, distortion pedals get stepped on, I can't continue. It's simply too loud. You're looking at the reason right there, and the reason why the Dark Magician never had those put on it, because that area after the gain to 6K is related to that sensation of the vocals being too intense, of guitars being too intense, of things like that, the second, third, fourth order harmonics being just overly blown up. That is kind of what the Olina was doing for people, and the Dark Magician was not doing for people. The Simgot is a little between. It's kind of more closer to the Magician than it is to the Olina. It has a tuning that goes actually more extension than any of these sets. It's energetic, and it's got a final peak at something like 18 kilohertz or something like that. Let me take the Olina out and just look at the MIM and the EA500. This is a $99 set. If the Simgot, if the Dark Audio Magician had been priced at that, it would have been a superstar. And then this set comes along, and I'm sure they didn't clone, because I'm sure they don't know Dark Magician, but they did, just by chance, unless there's a whole conspiracy going on, I think it's by chance. They absolutely nailed what is a not common tuning that is excellent for a library like mine. You say, well, that bass doesn't really do it. Go talk to somebody that had the Dark Magician. For drums, doesn't quite have the energy of other sets, but again, it's the same as the original Olina. It's more of a vocal centric, however accurate in the low end. You don't get the energetic thumps on the drums, but the drums sound fine. The bass guitar actually sounds better than the drums. Drops on 808 Roland or deck mix, stuff like that, sounds pretty good. It's not the sets that I'd go for if that was the main bulk of my library, but if the main bulk was other stuff, classical, rock and roll, and you sometimes listen to hip hop, like 20% of your listening, this would be fine. The technical excellence of this set is the big surprise for me, because what are the chances that a company that I've known for years that never did anything that I thought was very good suddenly nailed the metal shell, put an excellent driver in, and tuned it? It just seems too kind of hard to believe, even though I'm holding it in my hand. I've listened to it and been blown away. I'm wondering if there's some people out there that have gotten this and have kind of been blown away. This is magnified by the fact of the name of the company on it. If this was a MIM audio budget version, they decided to eat up what they never did with the $600 version, it would make total sense. But Simgot doing this is a big surprise. It's a very good set. I'm going to do a full review for it, sit down, put the camera on my head and not in front of my body, and talk about music and where it is excellent and where it's not. As it sits, I think it's probably the best that you can get under $100. Just in sheer technical OCD listening for finger slides on guitars up the fretboards, breaths into microphones, pedal pushes on pianos. I feel like this thing catches that stuff better than anything. It's going to be a legend, and it's going to have people with expensive cables strapped to it, and they're going to love it for years. It's one of those sets. If $100 is a lot for you, and you're really cautious with your spending, and you want to get the best you can get for $100, I'd say that's the set. I can't believe this is like being out of body experience that I'm saying that about a Simgot. But here it is, and it's the truth. So if you want to get the 7 hertz, comment below this, and let me go ahead and do a spin for the headphones right now. And the full review for the Simgot will be coming. It's obviously going to be a very hyped set, and we will go ahead and spin that up. And again, this is for the Ghost, not the Timeless. The Timeless, you comment below this video. Jens. God, that's a very easy one right there. Jens, contact me. Contact me on the email that is attached to this channel. And then I will confirm that you're a legit person and not some bot. And then it will be sent to you by me. Okay? It doesn't matter where you live. And I'm stunner. And you're thinking, you didn't even take it out of the box. Wait for the review. It's actually quite beautiful. It's got an interesting filter system. A new engineer, somebody grabbed them and said, you got all this stuff and production ability and all the logistics set up, why don't you take this more seriously? And they did. I don't know. It's nice to see it happen though. And I'm out.